Welcome to the Smyle Co podcast. I am your host, Kevin Hayashi, and co-founder of the brand Smyle Co. We are a platform to encourage and inspire creators to live their dreams and do what makes them smile. We lead by example by manifesting our reality and raising our frequency. Today, my special guest is Artem SHAROSHKIN. Nice to meet you, brother.
Great meeting you.
Great to have you. Artem has been involved with the boxing club since the age of 18. When he had his first position as a janitor, his passion for Muy Thai drove him to become a decorated professional fighter, fighting all over the world in places like Japan, Armenia. After becoming an experienced professional, he began teaching and training at the boxing club, learning every intricate detail involved with running a fitness club and business. Hoping to one day open his own gym, his dream came to fruition when he took ownership in 2014. Since then, he has rebranded and created the leading combat sports and fitness club in San Diego, and also was named San Diego Business Journal CEO of the Year 2022. Congratulations, man. That's an amazing feat.
Thank you. So we're pretty much done. You've read everything about me, so we're...
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
No, that's an amazing story. Tony was telling me a little bit about you, and I was like, that's incredible. Like, would love to hear more about it.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear someone read it out like that, just to kind of reflect back how it's been quite a journey. I mean, it's almost 20 years.
So 20 years. So you came to San Diego?
I was 18 years old, came here as an international student, went to Mesa College, community college, not a word of English. And
Coming from?
Yeah, from Russia.
Russia, okay.
And I was going to college, and my sister, she's older. She's actually the reason why I came out in the first place. I came to visit her for her wedding. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm sold. I have to find a way to get back.
So you came to the wedding?
I came to the wedding. It was actually in Irvine, California. So I'm coming from a very small town, Penza, Russia. It's like a very rural, middle of nowhere. We're known for agriculture and nuclear weapons facilities. So, you go from that to, Irvine, California.
It's a little different.
It was a little different, yeah. So I was sold. I'm like, wow, it's like every car is clean, perfectly cut grass. There's no such concept in Russia,
Wow.
Especially at that time when I was growing up.
So then you went back to Russia?
Went back to Russia, and I basically told myself I have to make it out here. So the first time I came to visit, I was 16, and then at 18 years old, I was able to move here. Went to Mesa College. My first job was in Kearney Mesa, detailing cars, washing cars. I did it for probably maybe 6-7 months, and then across the street from the car wash, there was a club called the Boxing Club. And it was the very original one that was built in, I believe, in 1999. And it was a small kind of traditional fight gym. So they had some fitness classes, but generally it was very heavily focused on fighters. And I was just very lucky to, sorry, my phone is ringing. Was very lucky to, come across that gym. And one day my sister surprised me with a 1-month membership. She's like, here, try it out. Because I've been talking about it. But at the same time, I'm like 18 years old. I'm already old. That's like a very traditional Russian way of looking at things. I'm like, why am I going to start a sport at 18 years old? Like, you're too old for this already. So she's like, no, you got to go. So she I think for my birthday, actually, she surprised me with a 1-month membership. And that's it. I was hooked.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you got the membership at the gym, and then you started...
Membership at the gym. I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. I was not living the healthiest lifestyle. And before that, I don't have any combat sports experience outside of, taking some classes in Russia, boxing classes, just to learn how to defend yourself. But it was never a goal to compete or anything.
So then started training?
Started training, took first class, didn't finish the class, threw up. Came back, took a second class, almost threw up, and then exponentially started getting kind of better. Quit smoking, really kind of started focusing on this fitness journey, but again, was not planning on fighting or anything like that. I was taking fitness classes, like bag classes.
So you were motivated from not being able to finish the workout, and that's why you quit smoking?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I was just like, I'm such a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta change this around. So yeah, I just got really motivated. It really changed my life. And again, it was just solely for fitness. But then it was kind of became kind of a family away from home because again, I came here from Russia. I had my sister here, but outside of that, I didn't have any friends, and I didn't speak the language really well. And combat sports was this kind of like language that I've learned. And all of a sudden, you know, I started making friends there. It was great. It was amazing. And then one day, I was just incredibly lucky that janitor didn't show up over there. And the manager says, hey, Artem, I know you're detailing cars across the street. You want to pick up some shifts for janitorial work at the club? And I said, oh, that would be amazing because I'd much rather do that than bake in the sun. Plus, then that means I can spend more time in the club.
Yeah.
Picked up a couple of shifts, crushed it. Then they said, okay, we want to hire you full time for a janitorial position. Gave me the keys to the club. Oh, it was a home run for me. That's it. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm living in this place. So morning till evening, I'm at the club.
And that was when you were 18?
Yeah. And then kind of started that journey there and started progressing into more instructional classes. Really wanted to get into Muay Thai. I saw it on National Geographic, actually, right around the same time. It was a kind of a top 10 most extreme sports, so one of those countdowns. And Muay Thai was number one, and they showed these two Thai kids beating the shit out of each other, elbowing, and like ruthless. And I'm like, I want to try that. And coincidentally, the coach at the boxing club was a multiple-time world champion at that time. So again, I was just in the lucky place at the right time. And I really wanted to train with him, but I tried out for a class and he's like, no, you're not ready for that. And then I kind of, again, that was the next challenge for me. Okay, I'm now have to get into that class.
Wow. Then were you 19 or 18 when you started Muay Thai?
Yeah, probably like we're talking about like 18, I started right away training in classes. I would say 19, I was in Muay Thai classes. By the time I was 21, I was fighting seasoned professional in Japan. It was insane timeline.
So you were going every day pretty much?
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. So at that time, there was this concept called smoker fights. Smoker fights is basically you go to any gym and they put together event that is not sanctioned event. And any of the fighters of that club plus all the other clubs kind of gather together in one place. You come in and they weigh you in. If roughly you're 10, 15 pounds off, they're like, yeah, you're fine, you fight. So then I was fighting at one point, like every month. So that allowed me to kind of really quickly, exponentially get a lot of experience. You know, and they were like high caliber, like really, really good guys. But because there was no kind of regulatory bodies, yeah, you were able to fight every month if you wanted to. And I really wanted to because, again, my mindset was like, I'm way behind already. I'm 18 years old. I started late. I don't have any combat sports experience. Some kids been training there since they were in their teens, like early teens. So I always had that mindset I have to catch up. And so I was obsessed with it.
Have you ever been knocked out?
Oh yeah. There's been a few. The last fight I had was a really bad knockout, and I suffered some injuries after that. But
from a kick?
No, it was like it was a fight in Thailand in Lumpini Stadium. I don't even remember the year, but Saturday night, old Lumpini Stadium, which for Muay Thai, it's kind of mecca of the sport. And for you to be a foreigner and fight on a Saturday night, it's kind of a big deal because it's mostly Thais, unless you're like a really high caliber foreigner. So I was very lucky to be even scheduled there. And then, massive stadium. We're talking 20, 30, 40,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane. And I mean, it's loud. If you combine every sport combined in United States, that's how big Muay Thai is there. So it's a lot of betting, obviously. So I walked out. We had an exchange in the first round. I ended up catching him actually with a head kick, and I saw that I dazed him, and he was kind of falling over on the ropes, and I got too excited and wanted to finish him, and he throws a Hail Mary shot. Lands perfect. My hands were down, and sleeps me, and it's one of those when you're like down and shaking the whole thing. It was bad. It was bad.
It's probably a horrible question for me to ask, but I just want to ask that to every fighter. I asked it to Dean Lister earlier.
At the end of the day, if that didn't happen, I probably would not be where I am today. So
absolutely.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I love that, and that's absolutely how I look at things too. That's incredible. So part of the thing, part of the main reason we are having these podcasts is really to inspire people, to show that ordinary people, I have a lot of very famous people on here, and it's like, hey, we're all people.
Yeah.
Everyone comes from somewhere. Everyone comes from a place of, some people have very horrible beginnings or bad childhoods, but they get through it. And I really want to show people out there that everybody can be something. And even if you have the mentality like, hey, 18-year-old may be late, or you know, like you can still make it somewhere and do some stuff. So, you know, what was that? If you mind touching on kind of like the drive that you had, or, you know, when you said you got obsessed, like kind of share, like, where did that come from? Do you know?
I'm not sure, because I never really had that as a teen, you know. It just something that came. It's like almost like proving people wrong, you know, like really, and really myself as well. Like it's kind of like internal kind of challenge. Yeah, and then I think it's all about finding that passion. So once I found it, I was obsessed with it. And then I kind of segued that into business. Same thing. It's if I was doing something else business-wise, I don't know if I particularly would have the same work ethic. But because I'm passionate about what I'm doing, it just allows you to go through a wall. You know, and that's the biggest difference.
And then can you touch on a little bit your involvement now? You know, it's amazing. You started doing the janitorial services, and now the CEO of your company. How did all that come about?
So the question that you had with Thailand knockout. So after that, I came back. I had some serious side effects, so affected my speech, kind of slurred speech, hearing. So basically, like a minor stroke. And I thought that's it. The career is over. I attempted to train again and kind of get back into it, but I started having the same symptoms come back, and I said, okay, I have to do something else. And deep inside, I always thought, you know, it'd be great if one day I had my small gym where I could coach myself, because at that time I was already coaching like a lot of fighters, and I thought it would be really cool to have my own spot. And then coincidentally, the boxing club was going through ownership change, and they were not doing too hot. And I've been with the club for so long. I've seen every part of it, starting from janitorial to coaching to fitness trainer, training director, so in charge of the coaches. So I've seen it all. And I kind of had a good idea of what needed to be done to turn the company around. And at that time, a good friend of mine, Patrick, I kind of approached him about partnering up. And he loved the idea. And then we did exactly that. And I kind of started rebuilding the company of what I thought the boxing club should be. And again, we had one club in UTC in La Jolla, and we were able to do exactly that. I mean, we turned it around. I took it over in 2014. By 2016, 17, we were already kind of having great momentum. And at that point, I said, well, we have one successful club. Why not try two, right? And then so I opened the second location in 2017. And it was state-of-the-art location, and I really wanted it to be kind of statement piece that, hey, there's nothing like this nationwide, if not globally. And we did exactly that, and we had a lot of celebrities there and different media attention just because the build-out was so amazing. And then we started kind of slowly scaling, and then it's funny because every time I set myself goals, I'm like, okay, instead of 2 clubs, let's have 3. Then at some point I said, okay, 10 clubs will be the ultimate long-term goal. And now we're kind of in a place where, hey, we need to build a national brand. And so now we have 4 locations here in San Diego. We just announced opening a new club in LA. So this, for the first time in company history, we're taking our locations out of San Diego and actually opening in a different city. And so we're very excited for
Congratulations
for LA move. Yeah.
That's. Do you know what area yet?
Arts District.
Oh, okay.
And it will be open hopefully by my birthday, May 13th next year.
May 13th.
So we got some time.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a brand new development. Arts District, of course, in LA is known to be very progressive, and there's a lot of great concepts there. Cool restaurants, really cool stores. So we think it's a great fit for our first location in LA.
Yeah, I used to stay in that area for a minute.
Yeah.
May this year, Taurus.
Yep.
Right on.
Yep. Stubborn bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes more sense now.
Yeah.
If you could give, what kind of advice would you give to anybody maybe that hasn't found their passion yet, or that has found their passion yet and really wants to pursue their dream, like from what you've learned and how you got to where you're at?
It's tough for me to say because I got lucky, right? I just happened to come across this place, and right away it was a hit for me. But I think for any individual, it's just exploring different options, trying different things until you really find that spark. I think that's definitely a step one, and you'll absolutely know. But for every individual, it's very much different. I'm a true believer that every single person has some sort of a purpose and passion. They just have to find it.
Right.
And once you do, there's no stopping at that point. You don't need motivational quotes. You don't need any motivation because that's it. That's what you're passionate about. It doesn't matter at that point. You're gonna outwork anyone.
Yeah, it's interesting how when you mentioned that you kind of felt it in the back of your mind that you knew that it'd be nice to have your own. Like I've had a lot of moments like that where you just kind of know, and if you listen to that voice in the back of your head, sometimes it's guiding you. Or most of the time it's guiding you. If you just follow it, it'll kind of lead you in the right direction.
Yeah, and listen, sometimes I'm sure people will get it wrong, and then they will find something else that they're again passionate about and kind of drive in that direction. So I don't think failure is particularly a bad thing, but I think committing 100%, that's the number one thing. I mean, I'm sure you've had very successful guests that they will say the same thing. It's that you have to have the 100% commitment.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to create something special.
Right.
If you're trying to create something special, you have to, put in your 100%.
So 5 years from now, where do you see the boxing club?
Well, we give ourselves a goal of having 30 locations at that point. So we have a lot of work to do. We're going to have to increase exponential our pace of growth, but I foresee us being kind of long-term, being a nationally recognized brand, a national brand. So any big city that you can think of where people think combat sports, fitness, they think the boxing club, just kind of a trusted brand, trusted experience, because there's definitely a problem, a void that we're fulfilling currently. What happens is generally you have two categories of gyms for combat sports specifically. You have authentic traditional combat sport gyms, kind of more of a mom and pop style. And then you have fitness gyms that, they even don't call themselves like boxing gyms or Muay Thai gyms. They call them like boxing inspired workouts. So it's complete fitness. So the chances are the coach that you're working with, they don't have any combat sports experience. They were just trained to, give you a certain sequence of combinations.
Right.
So where we come in, we kind of married both. You have the fitness aspect, but then you have the authentic aspect as well. And it is incredibly challenging, which is why no one's been successful yet in tackling this problem. Finding, scouting, or building individuals to be true, authentic combat sports practitioners, but in the professional environment is very, very tough.
Right.
Because a lot of them come from, they're professionals in their craft, but they are not used to the professional work environment, corporate, quote unquote environment, which by the way, I don't even like the term corporate, but it is kind of, it is true. So it's our job to find talented individuals or build them from within and then turn them into business professionals, not just professionals in their craft. So it's a heck of a challenge.
I could imagine that, yeah.
Yeah, because I've come across some incredibly talented fighters. And they're fantastic coaches, but just some of them are not the best employees, and then it's about us bridging that gap and really kind of coaching them on turning them into true business professionals, because combat sports in general, everyone, vast majority of people in combat sports come from troubled backgrounds. No one really comes into combat sports, rarely. Yeah. Coming from like successful family, mom and dad, and the family is wealthy. There's no such concept. Or like coming with a degree, college degree. There, generally it's kind of troubled pasts, and then they find combat sports as kind of their niche. And have
you ever thought about bringing it to Russia, or?
I don't think we're bringing anything to Russia anytime soon. I think eventually I would love to bring the concept to other countries, and probably, obviously, Mexico would be a no-brainer for us, because it's boxing is still one of the biggest sports there. So I think different countries we definitely can explore, but for now our kind of main goal is to really tackle United States and big major cities, to bring our concept there. And with LA, it was interesting. So many of our members, they'll leave San Diego, so they'll cancel a membership. And as they're canceling the membership, they will ask our team, who would you guys recommend in LA that is similar to you? And the answer was always like, really, there's nothing like it. There's, of course, fantastic gyms there. But as far as if we're saying apples for apples, there's no concept like that. So when we announced that we're coming to LA, a lot of our old members, one member just reached out to me yesterday. He says, hey, Artem, I just want to let you know I signed up. I was a member at this club 10 years ago, and he obviously canceled, moved to LA, and now he joined us as a member again because he remembers how great of experience it was. So that's always really nice to see, and clearly we're doing something right.
Yeah, you guys are a niche in the market. That's great. I saw a picture on your Instagram. It was it Dana White wearing your shirt?
Yeah, Dana White got really kind of hooked on our merch. He's I get a call one day, and it's a member advisor at the front. I think it was a weekend, like a Saturday midday, so it's kind of slower time for the gym. They said, hey, Dana White is here with a bunch of people, and he ended up purchasing a bunch of merch. He toured the facility and purchased a bunch of merchandise. I'm like, huh? I'm like, no way. And they're like, yeah, seriously, Dana White. And then I looked at the receipts. I'm like, yep, that was him. And then, so he just stopped by. He happened to be in the area, stopped by the club, checked it out, gave some compliments and, kind of supported. I think that was like right as we were coming off of COVID too. So I wonder if it was like his way of kind of supporting small business as well. But then 2 weeks go by and I see him wearing our stuff at the press conference for the UFC. And I'm getting all the screenshots from all my friends. Like, hey, Dana White. Oh, it was amazing because I remember designing that shirt with one of the artists. And it's just such a crazy feeling of like remembering how we designed the shirt, and then Dana White is wearing that.
Doesn't really get anyone bigger than that in the fight game.
And then after that, we started sending him packages of just new swag because he actually genuinely likes the shirt. So he's been posting a lot with our stuff, and he's just great. I think that was his way of supporting small business, which I think was amazing. I'm a big fan of, definitely, and I got to meet him afterwards and thank him for that. So yeah. But a lot of people think we're paying Dana White to wear our shirt. I'm like, trust me, we can't afford paying Dana to wear our shirts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him at all, but I would assume that he just does what he wants, right? So if he's wearing that, he's most likely enjoying it.
And he's known to do that. So he supports a lot of gyms. He wears a lot of different gym shirts. And again, I think that's his way of like staying grounded and also kind of paying his respects and things to some of these gyms, because I'm sure he knows that it's a tough business. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's a guy, John Orlando. Shout out to him. He contacted me. He has a podcast. And he's invited me to go out there to be on his, and his podcast is right next to UFC.
Oh, okay. The Performance Institute in Vegas.
And he's had Dana on his podcast as well. But when I go out there, I'll purchase some stuff and I'll come bring it to him. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So is there anything else before I let you go? Anything else that you'd like to share about what you guys have going on? Maybe anything you want to push or anything you want to share?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, we're excited. We're opening in LA. So if anyone is watching us in that area, make sure to come check us out. Again, we're a little bit early right now. We started the pre-sale, but we're excited to open, late spring in LA. Very excited to tackle the next city.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. We'll definitely have to have you on again when that happens.
Would love that.
We'll put your links in the bio and below everything. Instagram, make sure to add. Yep. All our information will be there too. So thank you. Thanks very much for having us.
Thank you.
And don't forget to smile.
Thank you so much.